Alright, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another reaction with your boy Isaac, man. How y'all feeling today, man? How y'all feeling? I'm feeling pretty good, I'm not gonna lie to you. So hopefully my energy be up in these reactions, man, because you know, like yesterday, my energy, I felt like it was a little down. I rewatched a couple of the reactions. I feel like my energy wasn't all the way there, so hopefully my energy all the way back in this video. Let me know if y'all could tell or not. But yeah, today we got Why Labels Want Your Favorite Rappers Dead by Louis Sada, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And my first initial thoughts when I'm reading this title is that I feel like this might be true, because if the rapper is dead, they still have access to, you know, their music, and I feel like it gives the labels more control. You feel me? They can release when they want to. They got more control over the actual art itself, and they can still make money from it. So that's what my initial thoughts is, y'all. Other than that, I can't think of a good reason why labels would want your favorite rapper dead. But so I was watching the video, y'all. So with that being said, man, y'all scroll down, leave a like, and we just gonna get straight into it. Let's do it.
Are rappers worth more dead than alive? And if so, is it really a coincidence?
Long live X, long live Juice.
And today, we're answering a few uncomfortable questions.
Okay.
It's astonishing to see the long list of rappers who have passed away in recent years. I would read that list, but honestly, it's just way too long. Whereas the deaths of Tupac and Biggie scarred an entire generation of hip-hop fans, today's consumers are so used to seeing their heroes either gunned down or dying from substance abuse. And what takes place after a rapper's death is frighteningly consistent, and every time the labels know that there's money to be made. Like the hip-hop vet Jim Jones said, "We have more rappers getting killed than we have weeks in a year. Every day they talk about a different rapper that just got shot, or was involved in a shooting, or something like that." Being a rapper in today's society.
That's true, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Like, is it just me? Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. But like, I feel like it's been a big rise recently, like in the last year, 2 years, of rappers that is just passing away. Like, obviously rappers passed away before, but I don't know why, bro. I just feel like recently it's been like a crazy amount of rappers passing away. And that's unfortunate, bro, because rap is like, come on, man, we set the culture. Let's be real here. The genre is huge. It's a mega genre, bro. Like, rap, I don't want to say it runs the world, but it damn near is the culture, bro. Especially for my people, black people, like, it is the culture. So it's unfortunate, bro. I feel like it's just been a huge rise in rappers passing away.
Society is definitely the most dangerous job in the world. Considering how unsafe it is out there, you would think that record labels would be taking steps to save these young artists from prematurely passing. But some rappers believe this is exactly what they want, as when a rapper dies, their sales explode. Seriously, I can't believe I'm saying this, but as horrible as it sounds, there's tons of evidence to back this up. But as horrible as it sounds, there's tons of evidence to back.
PNB Rock 652% increase. Oh my goodness, bro. Long live PNB Rock, by the way. That's insane, bro. 652% is crazy, bro. What is your opinion on posthumous releases? I don't think anything has to be written on posthumous. Lil Peep Management files dispute against claims of wrongful death lawsuit.
Back this up.
The editing on this is crazy too, y'all.
But the truth of the matter when it comes to hip-hop, in my opinion, is like, we gotta stop pretending we care about these people and we care about these kids. This is a business. They want to use you and destroy you, get your money, and it's better for their business if you're dead. That's why they put out albums after you died. If they cared about you as an artist, they wouldn't do that.
Like Vince Staples suggested, their actions.
I'm gonna stop pausing this soon, y'all. I feel like I got a problem. I be pausing it a lot. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. But Me personally, I feel like at the same time, like, yeah, it's a business. It's clear. Like, they want their money. That is true. That's why they put out albums after the artist dies. But at the same time, I also think, it's like glass half full versus glass half empty, y'all. If you look at it like that, yeah. But at the same time, the fans also want new music from that artist. So it could be looked at as a good thing because, you still providing to the fans, and I'm sure that's what the artist would have wanted. But I will say, me personally, though, I feel like it's kind of weird to put out the artist's unfinished work because you don't know if that's how the song would have sounded or if that's how they wanted it to sound. Like, a lot of this stuff, a lot of the times, they're putting out music that the artist didn't finish, bro. And they're just, I don't know, bro. Like, their creative direction might have would have took the record a completely different way. And sometimes I feel like they're just putting stuff out for the sake of putting it out. Like, especially X, Long Live X, the way that they handle, like, some of his posthumous, however you say that word, drops. I feel like you could tell a lot of the songs were unfinished, bro. Yeah, I don't really like that part.
Prove that they are indifferent towards whether you survive. Every time that a rapper dies, the streaming numbers of their existing catalogs boom. For example, after PNB Rock was tragically shot and killed in 2022, his numbers shot up 652%. His song Selfish also re-entered the charts at number 17, making it his first appearance on the charts in over 3 years. This track was also released by Atlantic Records, which is the same label that PNB Rock had been at odds with for years over an unfair deal. But still, even after he passed, they were making money from him, his music, and most of
fresh off his DDG collaboration, PNB Rock did his label flaunting stacks of money.
Importantly, his beloved fans. Similarly, when XXXTentacion and Pop Smoke lost their respective lives, their numbers were equally insane.
Smoke,
For X,
so many, y'all.
One-day streaming record, while Pop Smoke's numbers rose by 400%. As the news of Juice WRLD's passing hit, sales rose by 487%, and for Mac Miller, that number was up to 970%. All of this is absurd when you consider how popular they already were to begin with. So you can see why it's so profitable for labels to have your favorite rappers killed. And this is only streaming. Think of all the unfinished projects that were released by the labels to make even more money. It just seems like a tasteless cash grab if they're releasing something the artist never got the chance to veto. Like they're using them for name recognition, which already kinda sucks, but exponentially more so when they're dead. Shockingly, 7 of the artists in the top 10 most streamed albums on Spotify.
That boy Drake in there twice. 3 times. He's goated. Jesus. X in there twice. That's crazy. Pop. Juice. Nah, that's crazy.
Are all dead. Horrifying as it may be, death in hip-hop sells, and unless you're King Von, Nipsey Hussle, or Young Dolph, who all famously refused to sign to major labels and held on to their masters, a lot of those profits aren't necessarily going to your grieving family members.
Them boys smart, man.
When a label signs an artist, by nature, it is a financial transaction. For the most part, labels aren't necessarily there to provide guidance, but instead, they're there to promote you for their own ends. The only thing that an artist gets is money and fame, and that's if they survive. After all, most of the time, they've got your publishing rights and masters in exchange for giving you a massive audience, leaving you in debt to them until they recoup. So while it is
honestly, my opinion on the label thing, I feel like if you're a rising artist, like, it depends how you want to look at it, right? If you're a rising artist, I feel like the benefits are better for you to stay independent, money-wise, creativity-wise, and control-wise. But I will say, the most important part of signing with a label is the fact that they can push you and they'll give you access to opportunities that you didn't have, like say interviews with certain people, certain podcasts, stuff like that. They get you radio placements, stuff like that. So I feel like, is it worth it? I don't know. That's for you to say. That's for you to decide. Me personally, if I was an artist, I probably wouldn't sign to a label. I'd probably just try and work it up my own way. Shout out Dolph, King Von, and Nipsey, I think he said. I'd probably try and take that route, y'all. But I understand why somebody would want to sign with a label, because it's like, you get that first advance, even though you have to pay it back. A lot of people don't know that. You get that first advance, and it feels like you made it, and they're pushing you, so you get in, opportunities you never thought before. It just all comes a lot faster. It makes it a lot easier. So, it depends on how you look at it, y'all. It's really up to you if you want to sign with a label. Me personally, I don't think I would.
It's undeniable that they want to protect their investment. That doesn't necessarily mean that their top priority is the person creating the output.
I feel like I've been stuttering
The investment
a lot.
for them is the music and holding the copyright and licensing rights. But the industry's honesty about their view has never been clearer than what's known as the death clause, which is found in contracts that are signed by artists. Let's see how this works by taking a look at the one Kurt Cobain contract with Nirvana.
This clause is a way of assuring the record company will collect all of their money and yours if you died, no matter how you die. That's crazy. I didn't even know they had a death clause in contracts, bro. I didn't know that.
According to the documents,
This
it
industry
says that the
is
company
crazy,
shall
man.
have the right to secure insurance equivalent to 10 times the estimated value of the artist's earnings from any source of revenue, solely for the company's benefit. In Cobain's case, where he, quote, shot himself, that amounted to several $1 billion. And yes, that's with a B. And if you didn't know, Kurt Cobain shot himself with a shotgun, which is said to be physically impossible. He was also said to have been so high off heroin when he killed himself that he would have literally been too out of it to pull the trigger, let alone get the gun in his mouth, which further fuels the narrative that it could be the labels who are the ones putting out the hits on artists so they can secure the bag. To make matters worse, they also don't even need to consult the artist and can actively keep the information confidential if they wish. Speaking about his own past and dispute with other rappers, French Montana explored the prominence of these life insurance policies on Academics' Off the Record podcast.
And we was
You really think these labels are sending out hits, though, on these artists? I don't know about that one. Maybe, but that sounds very insane, to say the least. That might be a stretch.
beefing for real. Like people was like
That
dying
might be a reach for
and
sure.
this and that, and it was just like it was blocking a lot of money. People don't want to touch you. You know what I'm saying? You know, your rap friends, somebody gets shot, your rap friends stop picking up, the label stop picking up. Nah, it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? It gets crazy. But now it's even crazier because they getting life insurance on artists. At least back then we didn't have that.
Is a label signing an artist in good faith if you're taking a life insurance out on him?
No, you praying on his death. You praying on making millions on his death.
Echoing what French said, Jadakiss is now calling out the negligence of the record industry's part in terms of keeping rappers safe.
It's true,
Record
though.
labels are being successful off nonsense. Somebody went out, did something stupid, recorded a song about it, and was able to get a lot of streams, and that became a thing with the whole drill. And they actually going out, getting active and doing stuff, and then going to the studio and make a song about what they just did. And
Which
that
is
shit
dumb
get
as shit.
nipped in the
Don't do
bud
that.
as soon as it got created. But nobody's
Agreed,
going
OG.
to these labels saying they wrong for this. We just blaming it on the kids. Putting out life insurance on these young kids now.
Wow.
The label. Because they're gambling on you to do some dumb shit so they can profit after you die. This is getting ridiculous.
Let's bring back rapping about getting money, y'all. Stop rapping about killing.
But it's clear that labels do not care about their artists' lives. And a good example of this is the way that Warner Bros. Treated Waka Flocka 'Flocka 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 '
What happened, y'all? Forgive me, I don't even know what you're referring to.
All that fellow's trouble.
In my most recent video discussing Waka Flocka Flame, I highlighted his harrowing experience in 2020, when he was shot and robbed. This traumatic event landed him in the hospital for several months, during which he faced temporary memory loss. The gravity of the situation was such that he could have easily lost his life. At that point, Waka was at the height of his career, releasing chart-topping tracks like No Hands and Grove Street Party, and considering he was a prolific asset generating millions of dollars
Waka
for his
is
label
the
Warner
party
Bros. Records,
song
you would assume
goat.
that they would rally around
Argue
him
with your
and
mom.
extend support. However, per Waka's account, this expectation fell tragically short.
Nah, they don't think like that. No, when I got shot, my leader ain't called me a guy named Ty Moskowitz. He ain't called me and say, yo, you okay? You know what I'm saying? That was Warner Brother. Guess what this man said? Yo, can you record? I'm like, what? From that day forward, after I got shot, I never in my life trust labels.
As horrible as this was even back then,
Insane,
the money that was
I'm
being
not
made
gonna lie.
off Waka Flocka pales in comparison to how much hip-hop can generate today. Over time, the profits have grown so much that there are even conspiracy theories that Empire Records is killing off their artists to cash out these insurance policies after artists on their rosters such as MO3, Young Dolph, King Von, PNB Rock, and
said
XXX
MO3.
Tentacion have all
Long live
passed away.
MO3, man.
And while we're not gonna delve into that, what we do know is that with rappers getting younger and younger, there are definitely some issues that need to be resolved if labels and managers want to prove that they see rappers as anything more than cash cows. And a great example of this was the case with rapper Lil Peep. When Lil Peep died during his US tour from Xanax laced with fentanyl on November 15, 2017, it was shocking to see how everyone around him was used to him being completely out of it. During his IG stories at the time, Peep regularly popped pills on camera and no one looked to intervene. At the same time, Peep seemed to have been actively
insane,
calling out for
bro.
help and was struggling to deal with his anxiety. And in his final radio interview, he basically sounded like he was at a breaking point.
If anything, things have gotten worse, probably.
Because of the traveling and the touring and the pressure?
Yeah, things just get worse. The anxiety just gets worse and worse and worse every day.
Soon after, Peep would be dead at 21
That's
years old.
sad, man.
And once he passed, his mother, Lisa Womack, began to point out the inadequacies in terms of his management. First Access Entertainment treated him and eventually sued them for wrongful death. His label and media company, First Access,
Mariah is a fan who gifted pills to Peep the day before he died. No one knows if the drugs killed him or those or not. His label and media company gave him pills frequently, and encouraged him to do drugs to keep up the image. That sounds believable, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. That sounds believable. Even though Pete wanted to slow down knowing his use was affecting him negatively. That sounds sadly believable, bro. Like, if you have an image, it sucks, but you have to keep that image up, bro. Like, you do. And that's how the labels look at it. That's especially how the labels look at it, bro. So I feel like it's the same thing with Juice WRLD, bro. They probably was pushing that shit, encouraging it, bro. And that shit is so sad, bro. It's so sad.
gave him pills frequently
Don't do drugs,
and
yeah.
encouraged him to do drugs to keep up the image. Even though Peep wanted to
not
slow
worth
down,
it.
knowing his use was affecting him negatively. Where the company's CEO, Sarah Stennett, previously told Rolling Stone that she had felt protective of him from day one, once the lawsuits began, she described their dealings as an arm's-length business arrangement. According to them, Lil Peep's contract with First Access was purely of a business nature, and not the type of special relationship giving rise to an independent duty of care for one's safety and or well-being. In response, Lisa claimed that they undertook the task of controlling and managing Peep's personal life, even accusing them of propping him on state in a comatose state. According to Lisa, Peep, quote, expressed a desire not to perform, which was met with an instruction by his tour managers that he take an excessive amount of Xanax, so as to make himself sick, which would in turn trigger insurance coverage of cancellation. Basically, they wouldn't let him cancel the tour even if it meant saving his life unless they were going to get their fair share. Eventually, they settled out of
So
court,
do you have
but not
to,
before they made
like-
a massive profit.
I don't know how that works, y'all. So if you're an artist and you're signed and you're on tour like Lil Peep was, and you say I don't want to perform, I know you're under contract, but can you say that? Are you allowed to just be like, I'm not performing today? Or do you have to perform because you're under contract, regardless of how you feel? Because if you do, that's insane, bro.
Profit from their share of Peep's streaming numbers and his posthumous albums. Peep had a rumored net worth of $300,000 at the time of his death. Since then, his estate is valued at over $7 million. Considering that Peep recorded at a prolific rate, they could have milked him for years to come if his mom didn't step in, and he's not the only one. Take Juice WRLD for example. According to reports that emerged after his incredibly tragic death, the Chi-Town artist had recorded over 2,000 unreleased songs during his very short lifetime.
Yeah, I heard
At some
that.
point, his ex-girlfriend Ali Lottie believed that he gave so much to the label in terms of that he ultimately became disposable to them as a person, and according to her, she actually tried to stop him.
What's the difference between selling on a marketplace and selling with Shopify? When you build a
I would literally sit on his lap every day and be like, don't go record. They don't need us. They don't need you anymore. You made so many songs that we're a liability being here.
Ultimately, music is a cold and
Don't go record is crazy though. He probably still wanted to do it at some point. I'm sure Juice didn't not want to record. If anything, I'd say the best way to go if you're just locked in a label like that, do what YoungBoy did, y'all. He like spam drop. Like, even if obviously the fans don't want you to drop bullshit, but like, you know what I'm saying? If you got a contract that says they need 7 more albums from you, and however many singles or whatever, however it works, drop all the albums and do it quick, bro. Like, I know they got, damn, I didn't even think about it. They got control over like the times that you drop too, don't they? Damn, that's crazy. I don't know how this shit works all the way, bro. But yeah, I say if you're locked in a contract like that, bro, just try to get whatever you signed for, like say it's 7 albums or whatever. Drop those 7 albums as fast as you can and restructure your deal. Get your masters, bro. Or drop those 7 albums and just go independent, bro. Like, you made your money, you feel me? And you gonna make more once you independent. I'm pretty sure that's what YoungBoy did, if I'm not mistaken.
calculating
Just kept
industry.
dropping.
So if a rapper
It's crazy
forfeits
'cause
control
everybody
over their
always talk about
catalog
how
and
YB
exploiting
dropped
it
too
would be
much.
profitable, that's exactly what they'll do. So if record companies aren't going to help, what can be done to change things? Well, it seems like it may have to be on the rappers themselves to overhaul the culture, place legal statutes in place, and look over each other. When I'm gone, please don't release any posthumous albums or songs with my name attached, reads the tattoo on the arm of Anderson .Paak. Those were just demos and never intended to be heard by the
He got
public.
that
These
tatted.
days,
That's
more and more
crazy.
people are waking up to how a label will descend on a dead rapper's leftovers and feast on them till there's nothing left but scraps. As a result, some artists like Anderson .Paak and Tyler the Creator are taking steps to prevent this from happening to them.
Some of these are so good, I can't just let it sit on my hard drive because I have in my will that if I die, they can't put no fucking post out. That's fucking gross.
That's what's up.
Fast like this and get like some random feature on it, some nigga I didn't fuck with. And like, you done? I'm like, no.
But while this is all well and good, it doesn't overhaul the cause of the problem, and that is the premature deaths of rappers. Well, for one thing, there is some hopeful signs that the current generation are coming through the other side of the habits that were leading to addiction. After Peep died, a lot of people stopped partying every day. Says Morgan Baden, his former producer, under the name Wicca Phase Springs Eternal, the younger kids don't do stuff as much because they see all the shit that happened in the last few years. Similarly, other rappers who were shaken by the loss of Juice WRLD swore off certain substances, including Trippie Redd. Since then, he's spoken out to
That's
raise
what's
awareness
up,
of how
man.
dangerous things like sipping lean can be.
Don't do lean. Please don't do lean, bro. That shit is liquid heroin. I stopped. I had went to my manager's house and stopped kicking at his house. And I got sick as fuck, bro. That shit crazy, bro. Like, I wouldn't wish that upon nobody, bro. Hell no, you get addicted too quick to that shit. Fuck that shit.
In terms of the likes of Lil Durk, he's now seeking to make changes in places like Chicago that have claimed the lives of FBG Duck, King Von, and countless others.
Rest
Many
in
rappers
peace.
are becoming uncomfortable with projects that are released after someone has died. Granted, these can be done right. Think of Mac Miller's posthumous album Circle, for example. But when you look at a record like Pop Smoke's Faith, you can clearly see why people are beginning to sour on the concept. Even though he made history with the album when he became the first artist to posthumously debut his first 2 studio albums at #1 on the Billboard 200, his second project was reviled both by those close to him and the fans. Pop Smoke would have never wanted this album, wrote one fan on Twitter. I like this music, but this album wasn't it. Labels always overdo anything for money. With producer Rico Beats claiming that if Pop was alive, he wouldn't have approved 90% of the stuff they put out, Hip Hop DX placed it in their most disappointing albums of 2021 list, declaring that even though the smoke will never clear, it's time to let Pop Smoke's legacy rest. But while there is plenty that hip hop itself can do, that doesn't mean that record companies should be let off the hook either.
Alright, yeah. That's the end of the video. My closing thoughts. Yeah, that's insane, bro. Like, real life. I could see why he might come to the conclusion that rappers want your favorite artist, that they make so much money from it afterwards. It's kind of just like they're milking them. And it sucks, bro. It really does suck. That shit is not cool, bro. Like, if the fans are asking for an album and the artist has expressed before that they passed away that they would want you to listen to their fans and drop another album, okay, cool, that's one thing. But like, I don't agree with it just dropping albums, bro, just to drop it for money grabs, cash grabs and shit. Like, half of the time these posthumous albums, I feel like it's not what the artist would have really intended for the song or the project to sound like, bro. And I don't know, man. I don't like that shit. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for this one, y'all. That's really all I gotta say about it. Y'all comment down below, let me know how y'all feel about it, man. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this one, man. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.